is a beautiful day today, and that's why I am enjoying some time outside. I have big wishes for an outdoor kitchen, and so far this is it, but that's okay. In time we will have a wonderful outdoor kitchen to film in. Our peppers did really well this year, so well in fact that almost every one of the bushes, like the tomatoes, has fallen over due to the weight of the peppers on them. So I'm going to need to definitely do something different next year to ensure that they're not on the ground. But on the ground they are, and so be it this year. I did a lot of fermenting last year. As a matter of fact, I'll put a link below to my video that I did about too much. Can you ferment too much? Yeah, kind of did last year. We had more fermented chopped peppers, you know, just like this size, than anybody could eat. And after a while, they just get a little mushy. So this year I decided, I have already made a few of those peppers, the fermented peppers. But this year I decided to go big on hot sauce. So I'm taking most all of the peppers that we have. I roasted some, chopped them, froze them, but I just want to do a big vat of hot sauce. One of the coolest things about fermenting hot sauce is year to year it's going to be different. You're going to get a different flavor. Now, yes, you can make sure to get as close as you can to a flavor profile that you like by making sure that you know how many pounds of what pepper you're using, and then you should be able to get relatively close. I always believe that a ferment still has a little bit of wild child in it, and it's going to change up if it wants to. But I kind of like the idea of just having something wild and crazy every year, not know what you're going to come up with. So this year I'm taking all of our peppers: sweet banana, hot banana, pepperoncini, poblano, Anaheim, cayenne, Tabasco, and even a habanero, and throwing that all into the hot sauce and see what's going on. So what I wanted to show you was how to do this quick ferment. Obviously you start off by cutting up your peppers. I like to go ahead and put them in a food processor and crush them down. Not everybody does, but I like to do that. Just go ahead and grind them. And I also like to add garlic. Now this is one of the garlic bulbs that I planted. This is the Nootka Rose that I've gone on and on about. I love this garlic. I cleaned them. Not everybody does, but I was watching a gentleman who cleaned his, and I had a conversation with him and decided to give it a try. And I really like how they turned out. Last year when I didn't clean them, they dried, the dirt was caked on them. I didn't enjoy the experience. This year, it's a very enjoyable experience. And then I just go ahead and compost this along with all of my pepper tops for next year. I love composting. And then I'm going to throw a little garlic in it. You can probably throw some onion in it. I don't typically throw onion in my hot sauce, but we definitely do the garlic. So I'm going to continue on here whirring this down so you don't have to hear all of that sound. And then we'll come back and I'll show you how I put it together, a couple of options you can do for your fermenting jars, and we'll get going on some easy to ferment hot sauce. See you in a minute. Alright, so we're almost done chopping up our peppers here. You know, you don't have to make a hot sauce out of this if you don't want to. You can just ferment this and use this. I call it chili paste, and you can put it, if you have cabbage and you want to make kimchi, you can transfer some of this paste into the cabbage and ferment that, and believe me, it's delicious. You can put it in soups, in stews. I'm not a big fan of turkey, but I had bought a turkey not too long ago, and I had some of this paste, and I put it on there and put it in the oven and cooked it, and everybody went nuts. And I have to say, it tasted good. The paste permeated into the meat, and it actually gave it some flavor, and it was really delicious. So you can play with this and not even have to make a hot sauce out of it. But I'm out of homemade hot sauce from last year, so we're going to go ahead and turn this into a hot sauce, and I will show you that in another video when it comes time. You're going to want to have this ferment for at least a month or as long as need be, because what you're going to do is you're going to keep tasting it and checking it. One thing I want to mention here is use gloves. I don't, because I've learned my lesson. I don't touch my face. I go in, I scrub up really well, and it's fine, and gloves just drive me nuts. But use them. And you don't have to leave the seeds in the peppers. If you are somebody who doesn't like hot sauce, habanero's going in, really, really hot, then just pull the seeds out. And there's no mistakes. If it comes out super mild, you can always add some crushed red pepper and bring the heat back up, or a couple of shakes of Tabasco. You know, just play with it. Your intuition will come in, and you'll start to learn. I'm lucky our family and friends mostly are hot is never hot enough, so I don't have a problem throwing in all the seeds and seeing what happens. But play with it. This is a great place to learn and use your skills and hone your intuition in cooking. All right, so this is the last bit here. I'm going to whir this up. This is all the yummy stuff, the habanero, some cayenne peppers that we grew, and our garden garlic. All right, so there we go. I'm telling you, what couldn't be easier? And I'll tell you one other thing. If you're looking for a gift for Christmas, oh, I'm gonna tell you one more thing. When you open the lid, open it that way. Or I'm outside and it's still getting me, guys. Woo! What I was gonna say was, before I was so rudely interrupted by my pepper fumes, this makes a great gift. Just bottle it in some kind of cute bottle, or even a mason jar. Give it as a gift. What a great thing to receive. And it's always going to be a different flavor, let me tell you. All right, so let's get this in here real quick. This is can't lose any of that garlic. Now, we are garlic lovers. If you watch this channel long enough, you know we adore our garlic. All right, so there we go. That's in. I think I've got about 2 quarts here. So for every quart, you want to use 3 tablespoons of salt. Again, here's a place that you can play. Now use a kosher salt or a real salt like Redmond salt. Don't use a table salt when you ferment. You don't want things turning color. So about 3 tablespoons of salt. In this case, I'm going to do 6, and I'm choosing, this is one of my favorite salts. This is San Francisco Salt Company. This is their alderwood smoked salt. If you want to give an undertone to something, a deep, bolder flavor that people just can't put their finger on, I sneak this into all kinds of things. I have some dried seasonings that I'll link down below of rubs and things that are also great as a gift that I put this in. It's delicious. So I'm going to do, since I have about 2 quarts here, I'm going to do 3 of the alderwood. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. It's amazing on popcorn too, or homemade chips. Boy. And then 3 of the Redmond's real salt. Smells like I'm sitting around a barbecue. That alderwood smoke is so good. All right, and then obviously just mix it up. Now I could have just done a green pepper sauce. You've seen those just green hot sauces. I could have left the red peppers out, but I like bold, complex flavors, so I chose to go ahead and throw in the red peppers as well. But do what you like. Again, play with it. That's the fun of cooking and things like this. Unlike baking, where you really kind of have to follow the instructions accurately, or that loaf of bread isn't going to rise, or those cinnamon rolls aren't going to taste very good. This is where you get to play and spread your wings. All right, so you mix the salt in there really well, and then you just bottle it. Now I've got a 10-liter Polish crock that I had thought I was going to have enough to fill, but unfortunately the peppers, there's a lot still there, but they haven't turned ripe yet, so I'm leaving them. I'm thinking I might take what I'm going to put in here, and then if I keep getting more peppers, I might just try adding them and seeing how that works. What if I just keep adding more and building the crock and letting it ferment for a while longer until it's ready? So I may play with that this time around. So what do I use to ferment? Well, my favorites. I love these pickle pipes. They're wonderful. And for anybody who hasn't seen them before, you use wide mouth jars with these, and you take your lid off. You're not going to be using that, so put that in your clean, not used pile. I used to not pay attention, and then all of a sudden I was wondering which lids did I process and can with and which lids were new. Now I have 2 separate boxes, used and new. Made my life a lot easier and not spending so much money. And you just pop this in and you put your whatever it is in here, put the lid on, and you're done. Done. Obviously I'm going to use this taller one. So this will fit on any wide mouth jar. You can do the smaller jars, bigger jars, whatever you want to do. However, when I first started, and if there's any of you mead makers or wine makers out there, these pickle pipes weren't even around when I first started to ferment. However, my mead materials came in handy. So I had these mason jar tops, which are really cool because you can use them for salad dressing, pour, whatever you want to do. Then I had these bungs that you could purchase, and just lo and behold, they happen to fit right into these mason jar tops. And then I used my airlocks from making mead. And that's how I fermented before the pickle pipes came into being. So you just pop this on. The dogs are playing. Pop this on, put your airlock in, and it does the same thing a pickle pipe does. So if you have these around, you don't have to invest in a pickle pipe. But I love these. So now all I need to do is just fill the jar and wait, which is the most difficult part. But that's okay. I usually just keep this in Gigi's pantry. I don't like to have it sit out in the sun or anything, so I'll keep it in the pantry. And I'll check on it. Like I said, I usually give it about a month before I start to open it up and taste it. And I've run anywhere from a month when I thought something was perfect to 5 months, just to see what happens. If you want to do something like that, you can always take a small portion, put it in a smaller jar, and just start writing on it. 5 months, 6 months, whatever. So you know, well, I like that flavor profile, or ooh, that reached a point where it's bitter, or what have you. I mean, if you're growing the peppers in your garden, you should have a few left to play with if you're lucky. And then that's what I would do. So I'm going to pop this all in here. And as I said, you can use this as is. I've thrown this in when I make tuna salads, or you know what? You ever made a really good Italian sandwich with all those delicious cold cuts? Let me tell you, a little bit of this wiped on with your other condiments, delicious. You want to pack it down. I usually have my muddler